Nonetheless, the case illustrates how Dyson's ideas continue to shape how we interpret strange astronomical phenomena and what we look for when searching for evidence of advanced technology. Modern searches inspired by Dyson's vision have also begun to consider more subtle and diverse signatures. For example, researchers have proposed looking for narrow-band artificial laser emissions from stars that might serve as communication beacons. Others have considered the possibility of detecting unusual patterns of star dimming and brightening caused by megastructures transiting their stars, much like how exoplanets are discovered. Some astronomers have proposed looking for signs of thermal management on planetary or system scales, where an advanced civilization might be deliberately cooling its environment or moving waste heat into space in ways that could be detected. Large astronomical surveys such as the Legacy Survey of Space and Time, set to be conducted by the Vera C. Rubin Observatory, may offer new opportunities to apply Dyson's ideas. The unprecedented depth and breadth of this survey will produce data on billions of stars and galaxies, enabling scientists to search for subtle anomalies in brightness, color, and variability that might hint at the presence of artificial structures or energy use on mass scales. The concept centers on the idea that a sufficiently advanced civilization, faced with ever-growing energy demands, would seek to harness the full energy output of its central star, instead of relying solely on the limited solar energy reaching a single planet. This civilization might construct a vast assembly of structures orbiting the star, designed to capture and utilize almost all of its emitted radiation. This construct would likely not be a single solid shell, but rather a swarm of independent satellites or habitats arranged in dense formation around the star. Each component would collect solar energy for civilization's needs. Because the total energy output of the star would be intercepted, the visible light escaping the system would be greatly diminished. However, according to thermodynamic principles, the captured energy would eventually be emitted as waste heat, primarily in the form of infrared radiation. From an observational perspective, such a system would appear as an object emitting a high level of infrared radiation, but significantly reduced visible light compared to a typical star. This led to the suggestion that astronomical surveys could search for these infrared excesses as potential indicators of advanced technological activity. The idea emerged as a thought experiment aimed at guiding the search for extraterrestrial intelligence by identifying unusual astrophysical structures that could not be easily explained by natural processes. It has inspired numerous investigations to detect stars or galaxies exhibiting anomalous infrared emissions that might hint at large-scale artificial energy harvesting. Over time, the concept has been expanded and refined, giving rise to more complex models involving nested layers of energy collecting shells designed to maximize efficiency by channeling heat from inner layers outward. These multi-layered constructs resemble the nesting dolls of Russian tradition, symbolizing the layered approach. Such structures have been theorized to function not only as energy collectors, but also as vast computational platforms. In a study led by Jason Wright and his colleagues, the team sifted through an enormous dataset gathered by the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, or WISE, which had scanned the entire sky in the infrared spectrum. Infrared light is particularly useful for this kind of search because, according to thermodynamic principles, any large-scale energy consumption by an advanced civilization, such as capturing a star's output via megastructures, would eventually be emitted as waste heat in the form of infrared radiation. Among the hundreds of thousands of galaxies examined, most exhibited infrared emissions that could be explained by well understood astrophysical phenomena. These include star formation regions where clouds of dust heated by young stars glow brightly in the infrared, or the presence of active galactic nuclei, supermassive black holes at galaxy centers that emit radiation across the spectrum. However, Wright's team found a small number of galaxies whose mid-infrared output was significantly higher than expected, given their visible light and their observable characteristics. These galaxies appeared to be reprocessing an extraordinary amount of energy, with their infrared brightness exceeding typical levels without clear signs of usual resources like intense star formation or active nuclei. This anomaly raised the intriguing possibilities that such infrared accesses could be the result of non-natural processes, specifically large-scale artificial energy use and waste heat emission consistent with hypothetical megastructures or astroengineering projects on a galactic scale. In other words, these galaxies might be partially or wholly enshrouded by structures or systems capturing and re-emitting energy in ways that do not align with known natural astrophysics. Despite the excitement this suggested, the researchers were cautious. They emphasized that alternative natural explanations could still account for the observations. For instance, unusual dust properties, previously unrecognized astrophysical processes, or transient phenomena might produce similar infrared signatures. The data resolution and sensitivity also limited the ability to distinguish between these possibilities definitively. The development of brain-computer interface capable of restoring speech through direct neural decoding represents one of the most exciting frontiers in neuroscience and biomedical engineering. This technology brings together the fields of neural physiology, materials science, machine learning, and speech synthesis. I will describe in detail the microelectrode arrays that capture neural signals, the neural patterns involved in speech production, the computing systems that decode these signals into speech in real time, and the specific devices and products that enable these breakthroughs. Microelectrode arrays are highly specialized tools that serve as the interface between living brain tissue and electronic equipment. They are composed of grids or clusters of extremely small electrodes, often made from biocompatible materials such as silicon, platinum, and iridium. These electrodes are designed to either penetrate the brain or sit on its surface, depending on the goals of the study or therapy. The size of each electrode is typically measured in micrometers, allowing the array to detect the electrical activity of individual neurons or small groups of neurons. The electrodes can record the electrical impulses known as action potentials, as well as broader local field potentials, which reflect the activity of neuron populations. The signals gathered are extremely small in amplitude and require amplification and filtering before they can be processed. Some arrays are designed for recording only, while others can both record and stimulate neural tissues. The choice of array depends on the application, the target region of the brain, and the intended duration of the implantation.